lives are involved. Now, court sends Fubara's loyalists to prison after arraignment on terrorism charges. That is, just immediately after Supreme Court affirms the governorship for the candidacy and the governorship election of Siminalayi Fubara of River State. And still on Supreme Court affirms election of Ahmed Aliyu as Sokoto's governor. And Supreme Court also affirms election of Agbo Keifas as Taraba governor. And hey, we did hear that price of rice has been up to 81% or up by 81% in 1 year. Onions rise 123% in 1 year alone, just 1 year. It's even 81%, because these are the hot topics that we have this hour. You know what? Let's take a quick breather. I'll be right back as we begin to dissect the conversations one at a time. Stay with us.
Analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening Rush.
You are welcome back. It is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM, 18 minutes past the 7 p.m. mark right here in the studio. Let's get started. And of course, let's start with the Supreme Court cases today before we move straight to the security issues. So, the Supreme Court on Thursday today affirmed the election of Ahmed Aliyu as Sokoto State Governor. Delivering judgment, Justice Tijani Abubakar dismissed the appeal by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its governorship candidate Saidu Umar. Yeah, so that's it. And then we'll move over to Taraba State, where same thing happened. The Supreme Court today affirmed the election of Agbo Keifas as the governor of Taraba State. Now, delivering judgment, Justice Lawal Garba dismissed the appeal by the New Nigeria People's Party and its governorship candidate Yahaya Sani for filing an incomplete record appeal. Now, the appellant had approached the Supreme Court, praying it to set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which affirmed Keifas's election victory. The appellate court had in the judgment it delivered on November 28, 2023, dismissed the appeal by the NNPP and its candidate as lacking in merit. Now, the court held that it found no reason to vacate the verdict of the Taraba State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which had on September 30, 2023, declared Keifas of the PDP as the bona fide winner of the poll. And hey, the case isn't different with that with Siminalayi Fubara of River State too, as the Supreme Court today declared Siminalayi Fubara as the duly elected governor of River State. Now, the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the 2023 election in River State, Patrick Tanyako, had challenged Fubara's victory in the poll. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had declared Fubara as the winner of the election. You remember? A 5-member panel of the Supreme Court has now upheld Fubara's election victory. The panel, in the lead judgment delivered by Justice Ibrahim Saulawa, affirmed Fubara's election shortly after he dismissed the appeal by Tanyako for being incompetent and lacking in merit. According to Saulawa, the appellant did not prove his allegations of overvoting, non-compliance, as well as non-qualification of Fubara to contest the election. The appeal, quoting the judge now, he says the appeal is grossly lacking in merit and liable to be dismissed, and it is accordingly dismissed, Justice Saulawa held. The Apex Court subsequently affirmed the concurrent judgment of the two lower courts, which earlier dismissed the appeal for lacking merit. Very quickly in the studio, I have with me Barrister Darlington. You know now, he's my Monday, Thursday tonic, so he's with me in the studio. Barrister Darlington, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Sure, there's nothing good about evening.
Sorry, we'll get to that place that is not so good. But the way people's election have been affirmed now, there should be something good about it that will make you happy.
The way the election was even I think this electoral victory in some area, it sounds to me like a deal.
But before I take your thought on all of those, let me also quickly introduce others who will be joining in the conversation. So also joining us is Barrister Henry Ekine, all the way from Port Harcourt, is joining virtually. He is a constitutional lawyer. Barrister Henry, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Precious, for having me. It's my pleasure to join you again this evening.
Thank you so much. And I also have with me virtually Barrister Asim Adams, all the way from Port Harcourt. He is also a constitutional lawyer. Barrister Adams, thank you.
Yes, Yes, thank you very much, everybody. Good evening to everybody.
Thank you. So the way you answer me and the way you two answer me, whenever I call you, answer as if you were God, as though you were God to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you too.
Thank you.
I appreciate you too so immensely. So let's dive in. Let's dive right into the River State issue. Let me ask you first of all. Let me take on you, Barrister Adams. Were you surprised by the Supreme Court's affirmation of Fubara's victory as the duly elected governor of River State today?
I was not surprised. I was not surprised. Even my own good friend and brother colleague Ekine will bear me witness that every time we have met, I told everybody that had the ear to listen to me that the judgment of the Court of Appeal, will not be upheld. That it is very, very rare where you see a unanimous judgment of the Court of Appeal.
Unanimous.
Dissenting opinion. Yes, unanimous. Without a dissenting opinion from one of the judges that the Supreme Court will do or turn it, maybe reverse that particular judgment. That is one point. The second one is that the issues that borders on this particular Supreme Court appeal are very, elementary issues. For instance, he talks about eligibility, qualification, and Fubara, as the case may be. These issues, why I say they are elementary is that the Supreme Court has shown that a lot of litanies of decided, judgment and opinion, legal opinion, on these issues that the so-called pre-election matters. And when you talk about eligibility qualification of a particular candidate, that has to be handled by a court of competent jurisdiction, not even a tribunal, election tribunal courts, as the case may be. So I knew that particular appeal of Toyeko was going to hit the rocks, and that is what happened.
Okay.
The last one is it.
Okay.
The last one is it. You look at, even I know that, under section 134 of the Electoral Act, you can, bring, issues of qualification, and you have to talk about a non-compliant citizen's case may be. I knew that it's very, very difficult for a candidate that lost an election, to prove that there were non-compliance. Because that particular section, one of the 6 things you're talking about is that you must show that even if you show that there was non-compliance, you must show that that non-compliance substantially affected the elections that, the place on a disadvantage. So these are very Herculean, tax. So it's like the head of the camel passing to the eye of the. So I was not bewildered. I just remained calm. I was so placid. I didn't even care about what they speak of today. When people were running up and down, the government is coming to them and say, look, go and sit down. Yeah, I know that Sin, is going to be the governor of the state, and he has been declared so by the Supreme Court.
All right. So, Barrister Sim, let me quickly. Let me remain with you, Barrister Sim, Barrister Adams, rather. So there was a lot of jubilation today in River State. Civil servants, people on the streets, jubilating and then excited over the judgment. Plus, the governor, in his remarks, he also did acknowledge his Oga, unquote, and thanking him. Were you surprised by all of this, including the governor's acknowledgement of the former governor, Wike, and appreciation?
Absolutely. He's a politician. Fubara is a politician. Wike is a politician. The Nigerian politicians are just like the British weather. You cannot predict them. They are very clever people anyway. Now, when you say that it's Mauga, from day one, Fubara has never said that Governor Wike is not his Oga.
No, he hasn't.
He still retains that particular, praise for him. And he has spread him in very high esteem. Of course, what do you expect? When, for instance, we were in River State, even the children will bear me witness. We were in River State. We knew how to be the state governor of River State. I was working for Labour Party. I was on the field on March 18th. I knew what happened in River State, and it was the same governor, it was Governor Wike that did everything to make sure that thing, came into
but Barrister Adams, just a minute. When you said you were in River State and you knew what happened in March 18th, are you by any chance insinuating that the PDP did not really win the election as many have said?
Of course, that is that I'm telling you.
Oh wow,
we have
really?
graphic, pictures. I'm telling you, I participated in the election in my zone. So many words in River State, I participated. I was at Iraq. And let me finally say on this. Even before now, the whole Nigerian people were able saying that River State results in the presidential and governorship, whatever, should not even be collated and added to the national, INEC result, because it was below standard. It was, a situation where votes, ballot boxes were snatched. I witnessed situations of that nature in River State. I want to tell you that that the Labour Party at that time vehemently opposed the inclusion of the River votes, in the calculation of INEC in the national vote for P2B. You understand the point? And so we knew what happened. But legitimacy has been clothed. I mean, the film has been clothed with legitimacy by the highest court of the land. So we rest it there and we wait to 2027.
All right.
But we knew that what happened in River State. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Barrister Adams.
Okay. Okay,
thank you. Apologies. So let me quickly come to you, Barrister Ekine, especially because you have about just 30 minutes to be with me and on this conversation. You heard?
I think I can be with you much longer now.
Oh, you can? That's amazing. If you can stay with me,
you're actually talking about God, nice. And this is the God for you. God is already almost there for you. So yes, please, thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, interesting. I was actually rushing because of you. So I don't know if you even paid attention. I don't know if you were able to pay attention to what your colleague said, Barrister Adams. Would you like to react to those in any way?
Yes, I heard him, and it's quite a position that he has always held. We've been talking about all of this, and then I agree with him substantially. The issues that were canvassed and actually that had been right at the level of the tribunal were issues that lawyers that have followed on electoral matters would have seen that much of those issues had been settled. Even the decisions that the Supreme Court has been entering since the last 2 weeks, some of these matters have also been raised. The issue of substantial non-compliance is a very Herculean one for anyone to surmount. So I wouldn't repeat what Adams Asim has actually said, but again, even the polls of the people here, in fact, the movement this evening, when I had actually told you that I probably was going to have a shorter time with you, was about the excitement in the city.
I was going to ask you about that excitement. Exactly. Barrister Adams had reacted to the excitement, and I was going to also ask you about that excitement. Are you surprised to see both civil servants, youths, people in the street, market women, all of them jubilating as though it was a second coming of Christ?
Yes, not far from any expectation. I had told you that the people of River State have been really perplexed, and then the anxiety, the uncertainties, and Sima has actually been in office for just about the neighborhood of 6 to 7 months.
Absolutely. And so I was wondering the works that he's put in place that makes them so happy and jubilant, really, or is it just because they needed to be happy?
That shows you. No, without checking the role of his spokespersons or his commissioner for information, on the street is that there is this very clear seeming acceptance of Sim Fubara for whatever reason I can't quite say, but it does appear that when the people seem to want to be comfortable with certain leadership, this is the way they react. But for public servants, I think one can draw this to the few steps that he had taken. I can tell you that even if the process for promotion of public servants started a bit almost to the threshold, the exit of the former governor, but it became actualized as Sim Fubara assumed office. And that I mean the promotion that has actually eluded public servants in River State for more than 8 to 10 years. Oh, wow. So in River State, it means that if you're a public servant 8 to 10 years, you remained in the same position. So if you were at grade level 7, you had remained there for 10 years.
For the entire tenure, 8 years tenure of the former governor, there were no promotions at all. Why?
No promotion.
But people like him.
But the people of the state liked him,
and they said he worked.
My wife is a teacher. My wife is a teacher. She had never had any promotion from the level she was employed into the public service until just this year.
But how is that even constitutional in any way?
That's the impunity that we really worry about. So speaking about public officers and civil servants, that's clear for them. You know, the excitement for a public servant to be promoted duly, this is something you are entitled to, or at least you should be entitled to the test. Every 4 years, you should be expecting promotion to another level. I never got that for 12 to 13 years. Then it's not just about the promotion. The allowances that follow the promotion were paid. Then at the end of the year, we heard about those of us who are not public servants never felt that excitement, but we heard about the 100,000 naira lajes that were given to public servants. Then again, employments that were more like, if you like, mirage became actualized. So for public servants, they have reasons to rejoice and even expect more. Then for the people of the state, there are some projects that are going on. Like I said, I don't want to be the spokesperson for Fubara and for his government. They are not paying me for that. Okay. But that's the reality, asking from Lagos, that's the pulse of the people here in Port Harcourt.
Thank you. So I have a guest in the house.
As I drive on the streets right now, even as we speak, that's the experience I'm saying.
Interesting. So interestingly, I have Barrister Darlington with me right here in our studio in Lagos. And Barrister Darlington, you've heard what your two learned colleagues said. Now, my concern is, how will Sim continue to rule the state? How will he govern the state with, all of those political issues that surrounds the state now, especially with the tussle in the House of Assembly, which may likely lead to his impeachment if he doesn't play the ball?
Good evening once again, my viewers and listeners. You see what happened in Rivers. People should not be deceived by this immediate excitement. The game have just started, because with the coming back of these lawmakers, Wike is seen in the game. If there was something that was done to make sure that Wike doesn't have any foothold in Fubara's government, I will say, okay, the excitement may last long. But as long as these people are there, and some of his loyalists are still in the Fubara's government, it's not yet Uhuru for Fubara. It's not. Maybe this judgment came his way because Wike's paymaster was not around, and Wike himself is losing out in Rivers State. The people of Rivers now, they are seeing Fubara as a gentleman against the loquacious Wike, who is always talking as if he's God and all that. If there is anything that Rivers people do not like about Wike, it is his character. He is not. He doesn't wear the toga of a governor. The way he talks, the way he behaves, the language that come out of his mouth. So when somebody is telling me that some people love Wike, go and check the characters. Street urchins, all these area boys that are flogging around him, they are the ones that are always around Wike. They are the ones who is always speaking those his languages to. So they are not the real Rivers people. The real Rivers people are the ones that you are seeing today, who are jubilating over this judgment. And as a matter of fact, if they had removed Fubara, it would have been difficult for Wike to control Tony Cole. These are the things they weigh, though. They weigh their options.
How about if there was a re-election? He was already having a subtle campaign.
The Supreme Court wouldn't have said ask for re-election, because the man is saying that he won the election. That is the truth. They have weighed their options against public opinion. Remember what most of us said about the 8-point agenda and all that. So Tinubu wouldn't have, after all that, they now remove the man again. The question would not be, so why did you give him the 8-point agenda, which he has implemented faithfully? That is the shame that would have come upon them. So they weighed all this in, and they decided to stay off. and allow the Supreme Court to do their bidding. If they wanted reverse, my dear, they would have taken it too. If not for public opinion and the embarrassment that 8-point agenda has given Tinubu, they would have taken reverse. So as it is today, Wike, even though Fubara is claiming that he's illegal, I think the man is applying the 48 laws of power. That's what I think Fubara is playing at. Now that he has become the authentic governor, I expect him to now assert himself. In every respect, let him assert himself. Because if he gives Wike in fact 1 inch, those the lawmakers will do damage to his administration. I'm telling you. That is why I am still not comfortable. Why those people should come back.
All right. So, Barrister Sim, I apologize. I think we lost Barrister Sim already, but I'll try to reconnect with him.
Okay.
Barrister Kine, at the meantime, you heard what Barrister Darlington said. Would you say it's Uhuru already for Sim Fubara?
I think I agree with Darlington to a large extent, except that I disagree only with respect to the 27 former members of the River State House of Assembly, because those issues are rife before the courts. And I agree with Darlington in the studio to a large extent. As long as Wike is still in the middle of this whole situation in River State, and then assuming without conceding that those 27 former lawmakers were to have a legal way of returning to actually be lawmakers in that regard, in the eyes of the law in River State, then they can still swing any surprise, because it is within the constitutional power of the legislators to remove a governor at any time, provided they are able to canvass the constitutional ground of gross misconduct, and then giving the details of those allegations. So if these 27 former law members were to have the constitutional ground to return, then they will still likely be a threat, except there has been a complete reconciliation, and truly so, between Nyesom Wike and his men and then the governor. But for me, I've always held the view that these 27 former lawmakers would remain former lawmakers, and Martin Ameule and his 26 former colleagues, who at best are former members of the River State House of Assembly, meeting as a committee of friends, would not, because I do know that there are different dimensions of matters before the court, couched in a different way, that I believe and I have confidence that the courts will answer in the affirmative to the question that, having defected in the manner that never justified the exception to section 109 1G of the Constitution, they will cease to be members of the University House of Assembly and will not return. So we would expect that the Dependent National Electoral Commission will someday awake from their sleep and conduct election in River State to fill those vacant positions, including the vacant position that emerged due to the resignation of Mr. Honorable Edison Ehie. So having all of these in mind, I think that is a mix of a position that is, if for any reason or any way the 27 lawmakers have an absolute return, where all these matters in court would have been cleared, and then they have no vitiating issue at all to their membership of the House of Assembly, then they are a potential threat to Mr. Governor. But as I have confidence and the Constitution remaining the ultimate law in this country, and everybody having sworn to uphold the provisions of the Constitution, then I expect that someday we will get to the point where indeed they will be ousted from even their purported position as members of the University House of Assembly, because they indeed are former members. Then I don't think at that time that the governor will have any palpable threat at all.
But Barrister Kine, you recall that the court did not even see them as former members, because the High Court sitting in Abuja had just recently ruled that the governor should represent the budget that was already passed to them.
Precious, don't forget that is a court that is a trial court. It's at the first instance. That's not the end of it. And recall that the same week, another federal high court judge in Abuja had asked all parties to maintain status quo. And I recall that I've also told you on your platform that I do know of several other suits that are here in Port Harcourt. In fact, a colleague of mine, Eugene Ode, has just informed me and forwarded to me the processes he has just filed before the federal high court here in Port Harcourt. And I tell you that in manner, he couched it in such a way that the court would still listen, entertain, and determine those issues. And I'm also aware of other ones that people I know they have filed before the River State High Court. One has already been assigned for one Justice Aprioku, and I think that in no time a date will be fixed for that as well. So those matters are not over yet. That's why I said the coming weeks and months will show a lot more, and particularly this time with respect to the issue of these former 27 members of the River State House of Assembly. So the decision by James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja is not a final decision.
All right. Okay.
It's not a final decision. And even the circumstances around that one, with respect to the judge, I remain really respectful to the Honorable Justice James Omotosho.
Thank you.
But with the issues even surrounding that the decision, I think that at best we would have other decisions that will emerge other courts, and anybody who is dissatisfied could go to the Court of Appeal. I desire that this matter should get to the Supreme Court again, but avoidably so that the Supreme Court will really decide the fate of these 27 former lawmakers of the University House of Assembly.
All right, so we have Barrister Adams rejoining us. Barrister Adams, apologies, sincere apologies. Network wants to embarrass me, but God pass him. Please forgive me. So while you were away, let me gossip to you what they've been saying since you were away. So while you were away, Barrister Darlington here with me in the studio is of the opinion that Fubara needs to be careful. Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then Barrister Darlington. What Barrister Kine is saying that he does agree, and then he also did say that, however, he believes is of the position that the House of Assembly so constituted right now, the ones making the noise right now that's in the news, that they are former House of Assembly members and they remain that way. Even though we have a high court in Abuja that has said that the governor should represent budget to that House of Assembly. And I'm wondering why the court, or that same high court, did not recognize them as former assembly members. And why is INEC not doing anything to start re-election processes for those vacant spaces, positions, if those positions were actually vacant?
You see, we discussed this thing before now. I say hi to Barrister Darlington in the studio.
Thank you,
my colleague. Good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
Well done, my brother. So what I want to say in all about this is this. We discussed this particular matter, and cleverly you said that why did the High Court not refer to those 26 members as former House of Assembly
Absolutely.
members? Good, because the process is incoherent. The Speaker can make a pronouncement, but that does not end it. Secondly, remember that the 26 members, when they have a court order that restrain INEC to conduct further elections or by-elections, replacing or taking over their seats after their defection. That matter has not been determined. The second one I want to tell everybody there today, just this evening, today, a court of competent jurisdiction in River State struck out an application that was brought by an amorphous group to say that these 26 members are no longer members of the House of Assembly. That is the breaking news today. This evening here, a high court in River State said they cannot entertain that kind of matter. That they struck out that particular matter against the claimants who brought the matter against 26 members of the House of Assembly. And now I have said...
So that is to say that the court refused to declare those 26 members as non-members.
No.
So
but Barrister Ekine, it's of does seem like he has a contrary view. Barrister Ekine?
No, of course, he should have I know he has a contrary view. We all must
not quite a contrary view. Let me just, with respect, please, Asim, just a second, sir. Just a second, sir.
Barrister Asim, can you just hold your thoughts a second? Barrister Ekine just wants chiming briefly.
Yes, Precious. Yes, right, what Asim is saying is partly correct, but partly, not quite. It should be able to confirm what I want to say now, that the actual situation in that matter was that even the parties in that suit, that is the respondents, they have not been fully served. So the claimants, and when he said they are amorphous, these are competent claimants in a matter. They went to court to move an ex parte application for substituted service to say, look, please, court, let us serve the other person so that everybody will be in this matter before you consider the matter on the merit and decide. So the court did not decide that matter on the merit. The court has not really decided that matter on the merit. The court simply said, I don't have the power to look into this matter. And I say, my friend, even Darlington in the studio, you understand the difference between getting into a matter on the merit to give a judgment and then to decline to accept to look into the matter. So Justice Chiwendu actually declined jurisdiction to say, I will not look into the merit because a judge in Abuja has said this. And then this was at a stage where arguably here, with respect to the judge, that some of us are of the view that he would have allowed all the parties to be served and be heard fairly. So then he takes a position, whether he has jurisdiction or not, or whether he agrees or not. Asim, is what I'm saying, is it not the correct position?
I am telling you about another suit today, not the Chiwendu suit. That one took place yesterday. I am telling you that there's a breaking news to this evening. Another group went to court. It's not the Anko Bricks, and Andrew Chedu's group. Another group, if you check, go online and you see what I'm telling you right now, that today there was another decision by another court in River State here. Because I counted about 13 suits on this particular matter. And about 2 has been disposed of. One in Abuja, and yesterday, Chiwendu made that whatever the matter you're talking about now. But it's a different one, not about service. It's a breaking news we just got today, this evening in River State. So please.
The court declined to entertain them.
Good. That I've not read the full order. I got the breaking news while we were here. So I'm yet to fully digest the reason why they called it, the ratio dissident, why they called to their decision today.
Good.
I will do that subsequently. I'll let you know.
Yes.
But the situation now is this, that there is a breaking news this evening of another suit that was determined this afternoon in River State, different from that of Uwogu. So until I get to digest the reason, why that court did that today, I cannot say that because I just saw it as a flash.
All right, so Barrister Sim, very quickly, are you saying this because you believe that the 26 lawmakers are still very legitimate lawmakers in the House of Assembly?
Absolutely, because the matters are pending in court. Yes, Section 109 is clear, but the parties that are affected have the right to go to court if they feel they have been agreed, and let the court listen. And until the court decide on this matter, it becomes incoherent, that is incomplete, as the case may be. So we cannot shunt that particular queue of the court as the case and say they are no longer there with a word of finality. So the court must determine. It is the court that will determine. Just like what happened in the Abegunde case, just like what happened in Joshua Jariye case, it was the court that determined. And that was how the suit was vacant. So if they didn't take any action at all, then I would have said they are former members of the House of Assembly.
Barrister Darlington, you want to chime in there quickly?
With due respect to the 2 lawyers from River State, they are on ground in Rivers and they know what is going on. But what I want to find out from Mr. Adams, within your legal minds, are you supposing that the 27 lawmakers, they are right in law to remain members of River State House of Assembly, bearing in mind the extant laws against what they have done? Is that the right thing? Are you supporting illegality?
Barrister Adams, did you hear that?
Sorry, I don't know if you can just help me to rephrase the.
Okay, so he's saying, but Barrister Adams, Barrister Darlington is saying that Is it that you're supporting illegality by saying or insinuating that the 27 lawmakers remain legitimate members of the House of Assembly, bearing in mind of what they did, the processes that have transpired recently, which is as against the rule, the constitutions of the country? So are you suggesting that what they did does not matter, so they still remain legitimate House of Assembly members? I don't know if I interpreted it that well. But did I interpret your mindset very well?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. What is illegality if the court have not declared it as an illegal action? That is the number one question. The second one is this, which
Barrister Adams, before you start saying that the court has not declared it as illegal action, there are laws already guiding being elected under a political party and moving to another political. There are laws guiding that. So are you saying that those laws don't matter? Is that what you're saying?
Is this section 109 sub G? That is what you're talking about in respect of this particular matter. Is it what we are talking about? That is the one I know. That is the one I know. Now, the section 109G. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, good. That section 109G becomes operative if, for instance, the speaker declared their seat vacant, which he has the right to do. If there's a speaker that is well constituted in the House of Assembly, the speaker has the right to do. But if those who are aggrieved now goes to court and now say that the speaker should hold action, the court now say, please hold action on this and let us determine the propriety or impropriety of your decision, speaker. I don't think anybody can begin to say that those who are not members of the House of Assembly until the court now determine. If you accept your fate and you say, oh, I accept section 109 sub 1G, I am not challenging it, let my election take place, then they are in order. But they have gone out now to take their case, whether you call it illegal or not, as the case may be. They have restrained either from conducting a by-election. Are you not saying that you will not shunt that particular suit in Abuja and not say their seat has been declared vacant, as the case may be, whereas the matters are pending in court? About 13 matters in court on this matter. 2 have been knocked out, remaining 11, as the case may be. Those 11 cases borders on the propriety of their membership of the House of Assembly. So are you saying that we should sweep aside those 11 matters that are before adjudication before the court, and you now declare them illegal arbitrarily? That is my argument.
But Barrister Adams, that does not also rule out the fact that there is a law guiding the action they've already taken place, which they already fell short of. If I'm correct, is that correct?
No, I don't agree with you.
You don't agree? Okay, so Barrister Kine, you've been trying to say something. Let's have you come in quickly, Barrister Darlington.
We are overburdening the court with the electoral matters. Some of these things are purely legal exercise.
All right.
That is what should be. Darlington, the council, that is what should be. Council, can you hear me? That is what should be.
He can hear you.
Politicians are overburdening the judicial legal space and firmament in Nigeria. That is what should be. But when they go to court, you cannot determine, you cannot begin to waive them off until the matters are determined. It's like I have a land dispute with you, and at the end of the day, I take you to court. Will you go and take possession of that land, or you declare me not the owner of the land, whether the matter is in court? So let us wait for the court. That is my take on this.
So, the same lawmakers in Jos. Remember.
Hello.
The lawmakers in Jos, is it the same judgment that you are referring to?
Hello?
He said, bearing in mind what happened in Jos. I remember that lawmakers were also affected in Jos. So
that judgment proper in law?
No, which this lawmakers
in Jos,
the recent one
in Jos, yes, in Jos. There are about 16 lawmakers in Jos that were ousted by the appeal court. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
It's a purely different case. It's a purely different case from this one. The Jos matter, the people, it's a different case. These people defected, the Rivers people defected from PDP to APC. Whereas the Jos matter, that's the Plateau matter, is that the appeal court, gave a judgment that those PDP lawmakers were not supposed to be paid in the first instance.
Barrister Adams, but Barrister Kine, you've been smiling and griming, I like you to react very quickly, so you go next to the next phase of the conversation.
We have actually spoken about this matter repeatedly, and it appears to be one that is becoming overflogged. But my worry is that people are continuing to listen to us, and then some are listening for the first time, and they need to have the right information. As far as I'm concerned, and I also keep count of the cases here, I would have asked my friend, it's just that we're not in a debate, to say what those 11 matters he was referring to, which ones were filed by these 27 former law members. Now, he made a total of these matters, including those that were actually filed by people who were saying these lawmakers had lost their seats. But for these lawmakers, to the best of my knowledge, they haven't quite gone to court in any manner to seek to protect their seats. Take the one that we're referring to in Abuja, Precious. They went to Abuja principally on 3 planks. It's important we identify matters and what the issues really are. The first plank was when it became some sort of rumor that the National Assembly was being called to take over the functions and activities of the River State House of Assembly pursuant to Section 11 of the Constitution. So in that fear and worry, they ran to the Federal High Court in Abuja, suing the National Assembly. About 9 to 10 parties in that particular suit are members of the National Assembly, and I can count them. The National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker, the Clerk of the National Assembly, and a number of them. And that was because they had a prayer that the National Assembly should not take over the functions of the River State House of Assembly. Then they went to the second plank when they were challenging the deployment of the clerk of the River State House of Assembly, former clerk, when the head of service of River State deployed that public servant to another department. That was why they included the River State Civil Service Commission. So they didn't go there in any way to say, oh, some persons ought to have vacated our seats. Please declare us as still. So they just kept silent on that because they were the ones that were the claimants there. They wouldn't have, of course, nobody would expect that they were going to raise that issue. Now, there was another matter, I think to the best of my knowledge, a second one by them. Otherwise, the rest of the other cases that my friend Asim was counting are actually cases that are sub judice, but principally cases that Rivers civil society organizations, right now incorporated trustees of many organizations and citizens of Rivers State, are challenging the defection to the effect that they had lost their seat. I agree with Asim that the fact that these matters are in court, that's why I said so earlier, that I said in the coming weeks, in the coming months, we will get this matter to finality. And I also said that I had desired that this matter should get to the Supreme Court, though unnecessarily so, because the Supreme Court had actually put a finality on this issue. But we are still here having litigations, dragging the Court of Appeal.
All right. So Barrister Kine, in your opinion, how do you think the governor of Rivers State would, continue to exercise his powers as a governor, considering all of this now? Because how would he act or not act that would make it not look like he's working on an eggshell? Remember that he's still working with the commissioners. He's still working with the commissioners that were set to have been appointed to him by the former governor, Nyesom Wike. He's still working with, the House, at least for now, the House of Assembly members whom he has paid salary, and whom we hear that he has now reappointed or resent the names of the resigned commissioners to approve. So how does he now go ahead to exercise his duties? Because whether we like it or not, the people of Rivers State may have to suffer for this at the end of the day if care is not taken. Do we see the FCT minister focusing on his duty on FCT and forgetting about his structure in Rivers State, allowing the Rivers State governor to work? Or I don't know, what do you see happening? I just like you to advise, please.
You have actually given a stretch of what I have also acknowledged as the problem here. And I've said earlier that these situations were clearly avoidable and unnecessary. And they have just created some kind of problem of governance for a governor that would have been focused, not particularly whether it is Sim Fubara or anyone, but I mean any governor that would have been focused on the issue of governance and then carrying out the responsibility of government under Section 14 of the Constitution. But that it is no doubt, there is no doubt, it's not arguable that there would be some kind of distraction on the governor. And then these also confusions and complexities would actually confront governance and then the expectations of the people of good governance in Rivers State. And let us take it one after another, okay? Now, today, we have a governor elected in Rivers State, no doubt. So there's no problem with respect to the executive. The judiciary, we don't have a problem. But the legislature that is even arguably, or not arguably anyway, the fact as the bedrock of democracy is the point that we have now in controversy. Now we have those who argue that the 4 members of the Rivers House of Assembly constitute the legitimate Rivers State House of Assembly. And Mr. Governor has acknowledged them. He has not anywhere declared seizure of his acknowledgement of that 4 members. The same way, you now have a controversial 26, 27 members who now, that one is not by the election of Mr. Governor, but it was being forced and foisted on them. Number one, by a purported 8-point agenda of a directive. They say, look, you must go and recognize them. And then by some orders again of court. So he's helpless. It certainly would be helpless. But if you ask me and my view, there is only one correctness in law. And the ultimate law is the Constitution. Even if Asim was trying to like, oh, there are matters that are sub judice. But you asked a fundamental question, which I do not think that they answered. The Constitution gives a roadmap as to what is right and what must be. So even the interpretations of court must be in line with that provision of the Constitution. But I agree with you absolutely. That is a situation of palpable confusion that is, the governor is being confronted really right now. But I think that in the coming days and coming weeks, right, is going to have a perspective really clearly. It's getting them one after another. Today, all of the complexities and uncertainties about the decision of the Supreme Court has come past now already. So the issues about which House of Assembly is legitimate would come and go in no time. Then talking about the commissioners that were former members of cabinet and resigned. If I tell you what is really right now, some are not public issues at the moment. Yes, there were controversies as to whether they actually communicated the House of Assembly by way of reappointing those persons. Because appointment as commissioner must be initiated by the executive. It does not in any way begin with the legislature. So whether the governor actually sent remains a confusion. But yesterday, the Commissioner for Information spoke on a radio that I actually was supposed to be there with him, including Nasim. We usually were there. But he spoke on a radio program and he said, oh, they did. But I know what pressures that actually been on government to speak whether they actually sent that list of nomination. Now, they were invited and they have been confirmed. Do you know what? Before now, it usually wouldn't take this long time of this number of days after confirmation for them to be sworn in and given responsibilities. But right now, nothing has happened. In fact, there hasn't been any news even of the governor calling them to come for that inauguration and even for responsibilities. And I tell you, it is only the governor that has the exclusive constitutional power to assign responsibilities to commissioners. No court will even force the governor. That one, you can't go to court to compel the governor to assign responsibilities. Again, it is only the governor that has the power to appoint commissioners. It's extant in the provisions of the Constitution. So these controversies and uncertainties are actually really there confronting governance in Rivers State. But I expect that I know that in the coming weeks and coming months, a lot of these things will be cleared, no doubt.
Barrister Sim, just before we run into other conversations, because I mean, Plateau is boiling, people have died, people are accusing the president of traveling out and not even minding that people have died. So there are issues to look at apart from Rivers State. But you want to say something very quickly? Okay, very quickly, please, Barrister Darlington.
The only constitution I want Fubara to apply is the constitution of the 48 laws of power by Robert Greene. If you want to survive these attacks on him, because just like he said, those commissioners, it is only the governor that had the right. We know of governors in this country who ruled without commissioners for years. We know at least one is happening somewhere in Edo or so without commissioners. So if he now made that simple mistake by saying I want to be a good boy, he better take advantage because Tinubu is not around and there's nobody to back Wike. Whatever he wants to do, let him do it before Tinubu comes back to call him for another meeting. And he will tell us that I don't want to disrespect the president. The president is on a private visit. So Fubara should take advantage of his absence now before they call him for another meeting.
Okay, all right. I was about going to Barrister Asim, but I think I lost him again. But let's see if we can reconnect with him. Barrister Kine, moving forward, I did ask a question about how you think the state will be governed, moving forward. But do you see any impeachment notice in the nearest future?
I really do not expect that. I do not quite expect that. Attempted at the other time, it's not just enough to be overzealous to take that step, but you have to comply with the provisions of the Constitution with respect to providing the details.
They are not in a position to do that. They can't even do that now because there are matters in court.
There are a lot. Even the legitimacy of their membership is even in question. The matters are sub judice. There are a lot of interim orders and interlocutory orders with respect.
Is it possible that case actually goes all the way to the Supreme Court? Is that doable?
It's not possible.
Do you know what I desire? That these matters should even get to the Supreme Court again, so that we get the actual admonition of the Supreme Court on some politicians who think that they are above the law. Because the Supreme Court has actually effectually determine this matter in Ifedayo and Ondo State House of Assembly and Guni and Fedeco, and then we do not need any other further interpretation because the Supreme Court has set the parameters for that division that anybody would have anchored his defense, and it's so clear that splittering, that division, that segmentation shall be such that the political party is unable to function as a political party. So then just ask the question, is that the situation in the PDP today? No.
Okay, so moving forward, Barrister, Ekine, this thing about the court sending Fubara's loyalists to court for arson, how far to prison for arson, will it not also further affect this case in future?
Well, it will, but the fact that it's a different matter, I believe that sometimes we should give opportunity to the courts to entertain and hear matters to conclusion. And what is the issue about this? There are some persons who have been alleged to have committed some offense, and then the onus will be on the prosecution to prove that case. It is not enough to get people arrested. And then the correctional center, they were ordered to be detained. It's not that it's a judgment. It's not a sentence yet. It is a remand, meaning that their bail application is to be heard and determined in subsequent adjournments. So for the meantime, you can't, once the matter has been brought to court and criminal suspects have been arraigned, the appropriate place to keep them in custody is the correctional center, no longer at the arresting authority, the cell of the arresting authority, that's the police cell in this case. They have arraigned them. So it's appropriate to remand them await their pre-trial detainees as it is. They are pre-trial detainees. They are not serving any term. So it's a matter of patience for some time. The bail application will be heard and determined. They may be granted bail. Then the onus will remain with the prosecution until they close their case for them and their lawyers to open their defense, and then the court will deliver judgment one way or the other. So as for that one, it's too premature to get into a deeper discussion, really.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, let's move forward to other conversations now, Barrister Darlington. People have died, and Barrister Kennedy too. You know what's happening in Plateau State. Just while we were complaining about the Christmas Eve attack and all that, over 30 people within just this week alone have died in Plateau State. The police said they've arrested about 17 people, 8 of them as part of those who were responsible for the Christmas Eve attack, and the rest 9 are part of those who caused the recent issue in Mangu local government area. However, the Christian Association of Nigeria has said that, you know what, that the military is even aiding in these killings. That's the accusation. In fact, quoting that, they said, "I am here to report the situation happening in Mangu local government for the whole world to understand what is happening in Mangu at this particular point in time. The military are the ones sending our people away for the militia to burn their houses." That is what Plateau State, the chairman of Mangu local government area, Plateau State, Reverend Timothy Daluk, has accused the military of. And following that,
the Khan chairman.
yes, the Khan chairman. So the Khan chairman accused the military of suppressing Christian-dominated areas while Muslims wreaked havoc on them. Quoting him further, he said, at this particular point in time, they have sent every Christian away from the new market, thereby leaving the Muslims to come and burn their houses. They set the curfew. The curfew is only restricted to only people within Mangu, within the Christian domain. Within the Muslim domain, they are free to move around wherever they want to and whenever they want to do. Now, he further accused the military of killing youths while accusing fake soldiers of being responsible for the killings. Quoting him further, he says, and not only that, the military has killed 3 of our young men, of which I know. One is before my church. They killed one yesterday, and I reported to the security, and he said it was fake soldiers. At the first, he said I was lying until I proved to him beyond reasonable doubt. Then he finally said it was fake soldiers. I said, no, it was not fake soldiers. It was a real soldier who killed him. Finally, they made a signal to the soldier and he disappeared from the scene, he added. Well, we could go on and on in that. But following this issue now, the DSS has said, the Defense Headquarters said they're going to invite the Khan chairman. Let him come and explain himself about the situation. Barrister, I don't know. I shouldn't involve you in this issue, but it's a security issue. A lot of Nigerians have been worried that, is it fair that people like Sheikh Gumi would come out to say a lot of things, purportedly or somehow looking like it is in support of bandits, asking that they dialogue with them, they make peace with them and all that. But once somebody else comes to say something else, they are quickly invited by the security agencies for questioning. Is that part of our law in Nigeria?
No, is that not enough bias? That is the question.
I don't even want to look at it from the point of view of bias.
The man should go there with all these facts now. In the first place, Precious,
sir,
I am very, very angry. You know why?
Why, sir?
Who are the people that are being killed, and who are the people that their homes are being occupied? Are you telling me that the military are not aware of these facts, or what? The people from Benue and Jos, they have, even their governors have been saying that the entire villages.
Barrister Darlington, just help me hold your thoughts. Barrister Kine, in less than 2 minutes, can you quickly, or in 1 minute, can you quickly help me drop your thought on this before I let you go? Barrister Kine, are you there? Barrister Kine, are you there? I think I already lost him. Go ahead.
If people are being murdered and their home taken over, who are the people responsible? That is where I am angry with the Nigerian government. That means you prefer foreigners to your own people. How can you allow such a thing to happen? That the people that we don't know where they came from will come into Nigeria, kill Nigerians, take over their villages, take over their farm, take over their homes, and they are now living in IDP camp. How do you explain this? Are you telling me that the military are not aware? Why have they allowed those people to continue to occupy those homes? Ancestral home of villagers. The military, are they not aware? Is that one a lie? Why haven't they gone to dislodge them and ask them to go back where they came from? Because it is obvious they don't have a home. They are not Nigerians. If they have, how can they leave their own home and occupy other people's home? And this is not valid facts before us. So what is the military talking about? Why are they pretending as if they don't know what is going on? Why are Benue people in IDP camp? They don't have a home before? No, have they been living in IDP camp? What happened to their homes? Who is occupying it? Please, the people should stop disturbing us, because there are things we know, and they know that we know. So let them stop pretending. This is clear pretense. There's no other way to describe. They are just pretending. People have occupied other people's home, and you are not bothered. And you are telling me he should come and explain what you mean. What you mean by what? As if you are not aware of what you are doing. Okay, look at it, Precious. Please, have you had any emir from the north to complain about what is going on? All the northern leaders, have you had any serious complaint against what is going on? The people that are doing this killing, whom are they killing? Are they killing their own persons? Can a Fulani man kill a Fulani man and take over his house? Is it possible? Why are these people pretend? Don't try to make us look as if we are fools. We don't know what is happening. Every time, farmer and header clash. What is farmer and header clash here? By taking their homes. Is that a clash? With AK-47? The military should be asking themselves, where we are there when these people arm themselves and come into Nigeria? The military should be ashamed. They should be ashamed that foreigners came here to kill Nigerians and they could not defend Nigerians. And they are telling us stories as if they don't know. Who are the people fighting who? Why are they occupying their homes? That's what I'm asking. Why are they taking over their homes? The military should explain to us.
All right, Lagos phone lines are now officially open. Let's get to seek your thoughts and reactions. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903. I see your polls. I see all your reactions, and my WhatsApp is already full. Thank you. I appreciate you all. But let's begin to take those thoughts and reactions right away. Adegboye Gadidich, it's been a long time. How have you been? Did you travel? Good to hear from you again. Where you said different types of colloquium has taken place for the first 15 years in different parts of the country in order to come out with solutions to insecurity. People's taxes have been wasted in setting up these colloquium seminars, and yet no result. Kidnappers having a free day, explosion everywhere you turn to, and no arrest is made. These are signs of failed state. Emergency summoning of army chiefs and other security chiefs have been held countless times. No headways. Individuals who dare to confront and wanting to end insecurity have died mysteriously. So where does our hope now lie? If you ask me now, who will I ask?
They are trying to divert our attention. This is pure ethnic cleansing. There's no other way to describe it. As long as they are occupying other people's homes after killing them and chasing them away, it is pure ethnic cleansing. It is nobody should come and tell me that crap about the farmer header clash. Are they clashing in their home? No, tell me, how do you define that? These are things they use to brainwash Nigeria that it is farmer header insecurity. It is pure ethnic cleansing. There's no two ways to describe it, because these people came from outside to take over the homes of Nigerians, and the federal government is aware. How can you call it a clash? When people come with AK-47 and attack you in your home, when you don't even have a cutlass with you, what is clash there?
All right, Barrister Darlington, let me go back to my calls now, to my messages now. This is good evening, Precious. Can chairman accused the military of aiding Fulani killers, murderers, and to massacre Christians, and let the Can chairman of Plateau relocate to another state to avoid what happened to chairman of Adamawa Can branch that was beheaded by terrorists. Leo from Lagos sent in that message. All right, Leo, thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, good evening. Please help me turn off the volume of your radio set. Help me.
Evening, Precious.
Evening, welcome. Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is John Legend.
John Legend, you're welcome. Go ahead.
From Mushi. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening, my brother.
You see, let me tell you, Precious, it is now, not that I don't know how to carry AK-47. I am an Igbo man, full Igbo man from Aba. Go and ask questions. Abia Vigilante Group. We are just trying to calm down, not as if that we are just cowards. I am not a coward. Let me tell you, all these noises the Northerners are doing and the Fulanis are doing, they're just doing it because they brainwash Yoruba people. That's why they are doing all these shenanigans. What is war? Can America tell me why they fight Liberia, Libya?
Please just go straight and comment. Don't shout at me, Oga. No, don't do that. You cannot come on air and boast of having to carry gun, and you want me to let you talk? Don't come for me like that, please. If you want to contribute, go straight to the point and make your contributions. Please. These are the things that you do. And tomorrow you come here, APC woman leader. I beg. I don't want to get angry today. Please, you guys know the right thing to do and stop it, please. It's not fair. You're angry. We're all angry. Who's ever happy that a life is being lost in Nigeria? But please, you go about it with you apply some decorum when you go about it. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening.
Hi, Precious.
Thank you, Remy. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for cautioning the last caller. Can't say this country ablaze all because you are angry.
I'm telling you.
I'm angry as well.
And they don't even understand. When you keep telling them, they don't understand.
You've told them severally the rules of the NBC. They shouldn't feign ignorance as if they don't know there are rules guiding this platform. or because they are angry. I'm angry as well too, but I can't spew gibberish on your show because I'm angry. I should apply my common sense. It's a common sense thing.
Just please kindly go ahead with the contribution. Thank you.
What the chairman said was the same thing we've been saying on this show. It's beyond. It's not this so-called elders and farmer clash. It's clearly ethnic cleansing. Why is it that a certain ethnic group are the one occupying all the communities whereby people have been displaced?
I wonder.
64 communities in Jos, Benue State, Zamfara, Borno, across the northern region. A certain ethnic group are the one occupying those communities, renaming it. So are we going to say it's coincidental?
No. They are deceiving.
So I know BJ told us recently that there's an agenda called Islamization. Obasanjo said it, not me. So what is happening seems to be a sign of it.
But is it not the same OBJ that also supported Buhari in 2015 to get into office?
Sure,
when he was
did.
Against Jonathan?
He did, yes.
Okay.
I'm not even
just to remind us anyway. So we
yes, yeah. He did. So it's so unfortunate how the government is handling this issue. It doesn't seem as if they want to nip this thing in the bud. Maybe there's I think they are complicit in all of this too, because if they are not, they had the daily killings happening across the country. 30 people were killed yesterday, and our president couldn't disembark on his journey. It's so appalling. It's appalling. Thank
and
you.
We've not even heard a very official statement from the presidency concerning the killings.
He won't say anything.
And the vice president is there. He hasn't said anything.
They won't say anything.
It's just so sad. It's so sad.
They won't say anything.
These people that are dying are human beings. Human beings. Barrister Darlington, one of these was a girl sent a message that her entire family, I think 3 brothers and father and mother, 5 of them gone. Burnt alive in their homes. In Manguluku government. Yesterday. An entire family gone. I can't believe that we have a country where politicians are. See, every time I keep saying it in this show. So sometimes, if people should be calling me what you call me. But the political office holders, whether appointed or elected, are accountable to you.
Of course,
they are not your lords. They are your servants and not your lords. You should ask questions. Tomorrow now you ask question, why did the president or the presidency not react to this matter? They say, oh, because it's not your brother that is in power. That's why you're not asking excuses for him. This is not fair. Whether he is from Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Afghan, he is first of all a human being.
They will tell
the people that die are from any tribe, they are first of all human beings. Even if the people that are dying are not even Nigerians. They are human beings first of all. Before coming from any tribe.
In the next 4 years,
we employed him. We are paid his salary. So,
all right, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Quickly wrap up, please.
So, all we owe this country is to be law-abiding as a citizen, and we must demand good governance from elected officials, elected appointees. It is our duty. They can keep on cheering him up. The Aluluya boys can keep on doing that. It's not going to all go well if you keep doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Well done. Okay, so moving forward to other conversations.
You are annoying.
Okay.
Your fellow Nigerians being slaughtered by people from outside Nigeria.
Honestly speaking. Sir, hello, good evening to you.
Yeah? They are not Nigerians.
Good evening. Are you there? All right. If you're not there, let me quickly respond to some WhatsApp messages and YouTube messages here to let me see. Okay. Quite a number of messages I have here. This here says that is Bola. Okay, so Bola Tinubu has continued where Buhari stopped as promised, flying across the globe and then asking for investors to come into the country with high level of insecurity and corruption. His philosophy is may not work, may be counterproductive. Investors put their money where there is security and less corruption. Investors come to you to invest and not you begging for their investment. Honey attracts bees, and fowl. Okay, he said and foul odor attracts flies. Common sense. You can go to the bank to put your money. The bank doesn't come to you to put your money. And I like your bank marketers, the marketers in Nigeria.
They have marketers.
Oga, that one I heard you. All right. This here says, good evening, precious and your guests. Nigerians, common people, are no different from the Roman plebeians in the days of Mark Anthony. They are easily pleased. However, the jubilation may not be about Fubara, but for holding wicked to bay, at least temporarily. That's what you say. I'm coming back to by your message, but let's just take this call. Hello, good evening to you.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Mr. Darlington, good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, let me start with this. I woke up today.
Okay.
That's during the show of this lady, Ijeoma Innocent, right?
Okay.
So that should be Nigeria's 12th. Is it? Yeah, that should be Nigeria's 12th noon, and that's about our 3 a.m. this morning. So, and she was talking to a barrister from, a barrister from Plateau, and the barrister collaborated. The same thing that the chairman said is what this man said. My heart really, I don't know how I felt with all this whole thing going on in Plateau. But the thing is this, it will even amaze you.
Can you help me turn off your audio, your listening device?
In an interview.
I can hear a hold back. Can you help me turn off your audio, your listening device, please?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there's still that hold back. You may help me to be quick so that we can wrap this up.
Let's see. Okay, what about now?
It's still there.
No, that's not from me. I've turned off everything.
Okay, you can manage it. Go ahead.
Check it out.
Okay, so my heart really went out to them. It's so sad that these things are happening. And the interesting part of it was, I happened to watch an interview with the former communications minister. I think this man from, I think he's from Oyo State, Adebayo, some man. And when he was asked about all these things, he was just laughing and said, "Oh, the president can go anywhere. That's why you have governors. It will be taken care of." And he was so nonchalant about this. And you will think this is a human being, that other human beings are being killed. And he's just, saying things that he's saying just to be politically correct.
Thank you.
That's where it is. I'm so glad that even the chairman said that he is ready. He is ready to stand against them.
Thank you. Thank
even
you.
if it means stone, whatever. But I implore them to stand their ground.
Thank you. Thank you so
That's
much.
that. Another one I want to go with is your state. Your deal.
I be won't play those sound bites. I say make I no find trouble. The sound bites them plenty.
There is no need.
I wanted to play all of them. Because the jubilations were plenty. I wanted to play them. I say, whoa, precious, just respect yourself now. Go straight to the point.
Well, the first person he should go after with a very lawsuit should be that local government chairman of Ikwere that accused him of sponsoring terrorists, or kidnapping. I think he said that Fubara is responsible for the Abuja
that some people are very good friends with the law. That some people are very good friends with the law.
You said what?
You didn't hear what I said. I said that some people are very good friends with the law, like they have favor in the eyes of the law.
No. The chairman does not have immunity. The chairman does not have immunity, so he could be sued. The last time I checked,
it's not that the governor is covered with immunity.
Yeah, the governor have immunity, but the chairman doesn't have immunity. So the governor can actually take, send his lawyers after him, let them take, because at the end of the day, the name he's giving him is not a good name. that the governor is a kidnapper. Wow, that's a label now.
That is propaganda. That one is over. He's not the substantive governor. All the propaganda is over.
Well, so at the end of the day, my what I would say is that, just like the lawyer had said, Ikini, that in few weeks or whatever it is, everything will be settled. I think that would be the best thing for the governor, to just be cautious and just lay low until everything is finished, and then he can exert his powers and all that stuff. I think that the fact that he did not inaugurate the commissioners, that's a good one. So some of us think that Fubara is naive. I think he has his games too. He has his games,
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, so that's just that. Anyway, thank you guys, and have a great evening.
You too have a great evening. All right, let's go to more messages now. And okay, so I was reading that message, and then it further says, meanwhile, now that Fubara has become the authentic governor, the game is set for the use of power. It is now we will see his true color. By the way, is it not PDP that presented those assemblymen for election? I was thinking PDP should do the needful and pursue it to legal end. PDP is also in court. PDP has already called on INEC that their seat is vacant. Abi, is it not so, Mr. Darlington? So PDP, yeah, they are doing their work.
They are not being as forceful.
But that has always been how the PDP is. Like they never.
Nobody PDP again. Nobody. That's why Wike is behaving like the Lord of the Manor.
Okay, so he further says PDP was not bound by any 8-point agreement between the governor and the president. What is happening in Nigeria court will discourage me and many Nigerians from sending our wards to study and practice law in Nigeria. Is this not the same law practiced in the UK, America, and other climes? Why our own can turn upside down like this? I don't understand. Emperor says that lawyer is not different from Tinubu, Festus Keyamo, and all the other lawyers. The type of lawyer, he said, this type of lawyer is the reason why this country has been held aground. The constitution is clear as regards defection from one party to another. When the party is not in crisis, all the other lawyer is saying is not adding up. Barrister Darlington and the other lawyer are on point. That's what Emperor is saying.
To the lawyer, he's not saying that what they did is wrong or right. He's only saying that it should end up in court. Let the court determine.
Okay, and then this is Precious saying that jubilation in River State is like the second coming of Christ is an over exaggeration. If it's Muslim that said this now, you know what means? Can you guys just stop attributing stop overthinking? Hello. Okay, at least I'm a Christian, and I said it, Abi. Okay. Please, you guys, be coming down, It's not that deep. And it says, good evening, Precious. I shall watch and listen to your program from the start to the end. Good evening. I see why. I say, good evening, Barrister Darlington. Precious, please concentrate on the discussion and stop. Why? See why? No, don't worry. There's something he said. I'm not going to say it. Ezekiel from Ejigbo says, the military is 100% complacent in Plateau and Middle Belt. My cousin brother, who's a military, attests to this fact that Fulani has strategically placed themselves in the hierarchies. Once your commander is from a particular ethnic group, you will see that. What did he say now? He says you will see that. Okay, I'm losing track of that message now. Okay. Yeah, you will see the real bias in them. Remember the words of T.Y. Danjuma that the military are aiding and abetting the killings. Besides, the military Oga at the top sit or you said a lot. Yeah, let me break here, Ezekiel. We don't know. And then Prince from Ilasa says, my pretty Isabel and my man of honor, every time River State, if it's not Rivers, is weekend for Fubara. What is all this? Are they the only ones in this country? Sorry now, not the vex now. Sorry. And this says, good evening. Let's keep shouting. Let's keep shouting. Half kilo of kote fish is now 1,500. Oga, will they give us current market price? Fish and eggs are beyond the poor man. But let's keep playing. Our president has gone to France. Let's keep playing. Mark from Shango. Calm down now. things will still work. Comrade from Godfrey from Sierra Leone says, can you remember the time Gumi accused the military of killing the good bandits, and the military authorities merely cautioned him even on 2 occasions? Do you also remember that Asari Dokubo openly accused the military of being behind the stealing of our crude, and the military kept mum till today? Then why are they now inviting the Plateau chairman on the same accusation Gumi made against the military? Why? That's a question you asked.
A weak link.
Okay, all right. And this here says, we cannot beat the drums of war, but at the same time, the people cannot keep quiet going forward. We love, with love for one another, we can choke, suffocate bad leadership, insecurity, corruption, and political thuggery out of Nigeria. Muyiwa from Mainland. Muyiwa, do that with love, and do not do that with making claims that are not verifiable. Nigeria Constitution gives room to things like kidnappers to operate successfully and freely to the core. Bill Daddy said that because of the contrasting views of lawyers. Is that why you said so? How can you say so? Well, this here says, hi Precious, good evening. I really pray for my ex-injures because I have not heard from you. Your ex? Oh, okay. Let me finish this message. Say, I have not heard from you over a couple of days. Really, I pity those innocent lives that have been killed in just. Nobody day happy about all these killings in just. But make this John Legend calm down, cause him even called VOP by 2 p.m. and was also shouting that may God help us. Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let's go back to the phone lines now. Hello, good evening to you. He is. We all are.
Hello,
right? Nobody's happy.
Precious.
Sir.
Good evening. This C2 calling from Sierra Leone.
C2. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, my brother in the studio. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Mazi. I'm doing good. Precious, question. I need to ask you some questions.
No, don't ask me. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
I will not answer any question from you, sir.
I'm talking about the military that is supposed to protect these people.
My duty. It is my own duty to ask, and you people will answer. Okay. You will not ask me.
Do you know where they? Okay, let me ask Oga. Do you know where they are? The military that's supposed to protect them. Do you know where they are?
Barrister, where are the military?
The military. They are doing their work now.
Good. Did you hear that?
But exactly where I'm just asking, where are they? The military that's supposed to protect these people that are being killed. Do you know where they are? I will tell you if you don't know. They are in the southeast.
You know there is a curfew there. So
yeah.
They are trying to maintain the curfew. These people that came to kill, they are invisible to our military. This guy is like they are using one juju that defy the military. So you can't blame the military.
All right, can you be quick with your contribution so we'll take more? All
right, okay. Let me tell you, just in case they are in the southeast. If you want to get any military that need to go protect these people, go to southeast and tell them, please, people are being killed in Plateau and Benue. They won't go there because they love to shed the innocent blood of the southeast youth in the southeast. That is where.
All right, I appreciate you. Can you go straight to your contribution, Oga? You started.
I want to say something here, please. I'm not a fan of politicians, but I want to say something very important. Sim Fubara, if he's listening, I want that gentleman to stand his ground about Wike. Wike is a tyranny. I want Sim Fubara. Don't entertain any fear. Stand your ground. You are the governor of River State. When you see the people of River State rejoicing. Just the reason why they are rejoicing. 8 years of weekend in River State is a hell for the people. If you don't know it now. Sim Fubara should stand his ground. Except he wants to stand your ground. Weekend is not going to do you nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You see, Precious, on a more serious note, we should start celebrating charlatans as the politicians. We don't have any. We don't have politicians. We don't have opportunities all over the place. We don't have politicians. Nigerians, don't make that mistake of calling these people. They are not. Go and read what a politician does. Go and read what a statesman does to his country. If you call these people politicians, what will you now call a Mandela or a Julius Nyerere or George Washington or even our politicians of First Republic, Tafawa Balewa and Nnamdi Azikiwe? Please, the Precious, go around the whole Nigeria. Go and show me one estate that is owned by Nnamdi Azikiwe. one estate, one like this, or Tafa Balewa. Show me one single one like this that is owned by, or people like Jack Onde. These are people who serve you. These are people who came to serve the country. That is the people I regard as politicians. They use the position given to them to serve the people. So anybody celebrating this person, that means you are not, you don't even know what a politician means. You give them their votes for them to do the right, to serve you, to protect you, and they are not doing it, and you are still calling them politicians. Please, the people in America and the UK, are they not politicians? Can any of them be on their seat and this thing is happening in their country? Precious, you know what will happen now, you know. So who are you calling a politician? They are not politicians. They are not. A politician, a prime minister of UK or American president will be having private meeting while his people are being murdered in his country, and he's still there. It can never happen. I said it can never happen. Never. We don't have politicians, so we don't.
Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Mr. Darlington, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Daya from Fubara.
Daya, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know there's a reason why you said, Daya, go ahead. No problem. The thing is this. I think
Daya, it's better when you call, just be calling us here.
Insecurity in the north. There is conspiracy between government, the ceremonial service chiefs and the army, and also the northern elites. They know about this thing. If they want it to end, it will end. But then there's something about this thing. Is either ethnic, religious, or something like that. Now, if it's basically because of elections and stuff like, I don't know. It's really, really bad. If not, what Sheikh Gumi is supposed to be in prison by now? If we are a serious country by now, this man is supposed to be answering questions. It's very, very bad. Then for the judiciary, I believe this our judgment for each state and even the presidency is more or less like a selective this thing. It's more or less like cash and carry thing. If it were not to be so, okay, if you look at the Rivers, Kano, Plateau, this thing, judgment, you see that if they had done the other thing right, the other thing around, it could have created chaos all around the country by now. So I believe they selected those particular judgments. It's very, very unfortunate. You see what is going on all around the state in Nigeria now. That aside, then also a leadership, I don't know, Nigeria has become something else because of this government in power. Look at the situation where we are in now. It's very chaotic, and you are expecting investors to come and invest in a country that is not secure, where we have economic disaster, where you're supposed to build hospitals and then do this thing. You are doing medical tourism in France. It's more or less like a nightmare. I don't know. Like I used to say, blessed are those who do not expect from this government, for this shall not be disappointment. Truly, there was a country. Thank you, Mr. Darlington.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, I go back to my messages now. Ikenaf from Ijesha says, I think this is planned game by the Fulani elites, and until Nigeria leaders stop this, their hide and seek games, what is crying in Nigeria will still be crying. Even in years to come, President Tinubu should do the needful because he knows exactly what to do. Ikenna, how will he know what to do and you think he does not doing it? Victor from Mafoluku says, Precious and Barrister Darlington, the terrorists are killing people every day. 5 families killed one day a day ago, and Tinubu and his vice did not say anything. The country is not moving forward. When we call and talk about this, people will do what? If you want to come for me now. So people will say that we are too complaining and that because our candidate did not win. No, I will not say that to you. I won't say that to you. Look at what is happening in the country now. Victor, we see it. We're not happy about it. For us to see, whatever the news, whatever story that you refuse to talk about is not a story. But the one that you talk about, you amplify, that's the story. So for us to talk about this, we are also giving a voice to it. Do you understand? Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Precious.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening.
You see, the problem with we Nigerians is when it's happening in other places or happening to other people, we think it's nothing until it gets to us. That is the real thing that is happening. And it's so unfortunate that the people we call leaders, they are nothing but rulers. It's okay. Look at it. When the president, something is happening in his country, he just jetted out. And when you want to ask questions, they told you, "Oh, you have no right to ask questions. He have every right to go wherever he wants," as if it's not for us. I think the problem, just like Mr. Darlington said, we have no politicians in Nigeria. That is the real thing. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that an American government an American president will just get up and disappear while his house is burning. In the next minute, he have to resign. I live in the UK and you can't do that. Within 1 minute, you're gone.
You can't.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know, I just have my prayers for those who are affected, especially the Jaws, the Benue, the Kadunas, you know, and I mean, we need to support these people. We need serious support to these people because the way we are running away from this, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until every Nigerian, whether they like us to talk or not, we start talking and saying the truth. I mean, sometimes I have sympathy for you guys on the radio or on TV, right? Because you cannot just say it there. But it was us to start talking and say it as it is. Because until we say it as it is, it's not gonna go away. You see, the bishop is being invited. Shegumi is still walking on the street. This is unbelievable. And when you want to say such on national TV or radio, they ask you not to compare the two things. Are they different? Are they different?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So let me go to YouTube now where I have lots of reactions to. Okay, it says, where is Mazi Darlington? I don't see him now. You don't rest that bit. Thank you. He's here in flesh and blood. And he says, good evening, Mazi Darlington, mouthpiece of our people. No one like you. Aww. All right. Chuka Ikwe says, good evening, Precious. Oh goodness, so these messages won't let me take this. Okay, I greet you guys. All I want to say is that we the people should be planning for 2027 if we all want to save Nigeria, our country. You people should not plan, no. Be there. Let's be there and be complaining. You don't know that their mind is in 2027. In fact, the politicians are already thinking 2031. We are here.
They are already plotting their graph. We took over.
So you must be politically aware. All right. Truman Thinkwell says, why Wiki should face the insecurity in FCT and stop meddling with reverse politics. Emmanuel Lucy says, you're shouting breaking news, but you don't want to tell us the news that is breaking. I think he's talking about the other barrister saying. He says, since they left PDP to APC, they have lost their seats. Kenny Ezeki says, I am really tired of River State politics. Sad politics is what dominates the news instead of governorship. That's right. Governorship should actually dominate the news. Rex Igwe says, precious. Thank you. I appreciate you. Madi P says, we that is not carried, guys, Nigerians, we wish you, okay. We are all the same in one way or the other. How people without direction. And Fisayo Magikudumi says, evening, Mr. Darlington, but we all know that okay, so he said we all know that Nigeria is just a mere geographical location. So tell me how the life of people will really be secure. Adebayo Shitu Okay, was the person you were referring to. I've been trying to call the studio, but the network, I'm sorry, the network is here. We're here for you. Barrister Darlington is mocking the military. Did he? Where did you see him do that? Precious, you are not... I am not a militant. So for today, Christians, stop watching Fulanis finish you. Fight back and take back your ancestral land. Rich TV says, Precious, Nigerian politicians are not fair, more than anybody's expectations. Why is it difficult for politicians to resolve insecurity in Nigeria? We cannot continue like this, that's what you say. And I agree with you. We can't continue like this. Nobody should continue like this. Nobody should be made to continue like this. Hello, good evening to you. Okay, all right, I love that. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can go back to my messages now. Barrister Nancy, would you, before I go to those messages, would you like to give me your parting shots?
Precious,
sir?
There is a place called Camp David in the United States. I think it's somewhere than the eastern part or so of America. It's like a whole city built for American president to go on holidays. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
That is why it is unheard of for an American president to go somewhere, say he's going on a private visit or going on holiday or whatever. It is it can never happen in America. That was why they built that place, Camp David.
Okay.
Everything you can think of is that place.
So are you insinuating that President Tinubu should have probably gone to somewhere within Nigeria?
All of them.
All right. Let's quickly take this call.
To create such an environment.
But it's not his fault that other governors, president did not create that name.
I said, somebody had to start.
Oh yeah, your friend Faulkner is on the line.
Somebody built that place.
Hi, good evening.
Sorry. Good evening, Faulkner. Welcome.
How are you doing?
Mr. Dalton, just calm down. Don't let them stress your life.
Well,
so I Precious,
Faulkner, you people should start telling us to calm down. We have been calming down and nothing is getting better. We have been calming down. That's why they are killing our people. We have been calming down. We have calmed down enough.
Mr. Darlington, I understand how you felt and how everyone is feeling. But Mr. Darlington, one thing I'm just going to say, I hope government is listening. I know they understood what happened in Rwanda and the French Revolution. I hope some of them can read. I hope they can read. For those politicians who cannot read, who doesn't know history, they need to revisit what happened in Rwanda and what happened during the French Revolution. Maybe they can have the sense and understood where the direction we are heading to. See, there's now that there is internet, people can read things now and they can make up their mind what is next. I think whatever is coming, we just pray that it's going to be something good, not something bad. That's my take, Precious.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so let me quickly run through this message here. This says, good evening, Precious. Curfew is meant for people to stay indoors, no movement. But how did the intruders got their way through the village? And they are saying the army are not complicit. Should be during curfew they deploy army and security on the streets. So how did they still get to that place? Solomon Asika sent in that message from
Please, Precious, let me ask something to that. Do you remember the Dapti girls? It was the same scenario. The same modus operandi. On that day that they took away those girls, a stretch of road that would move from here to Ikorodu was cleared. No police, no army, no DSS. And these guys came in 15 Hilux trucks to come and pack those girls. And while they were coming, Amnesty International were calling this same army, this same military. They were calling them, they said they called them 5 times. From that afternoon until they finished the operation in the evening, nobody answered them, the phone was ringing. Amnesty International said they accused the military. On that particular day, in a place that there was curfew, nobody was there. They cleared the road for them. Precious. The day this story will be told, I wish some of us will be around. We'll be crying like this to know how wicked some people are. Deliberate wickedness. That dirty girl now, we are now looking for Leah Sharibu up to today. Only God knows what they have done to that girl by now. They cleared the road, cleared it, free, no nothing. They just drove in, collected those girls and went away. Not even confrontation. In a place where there was curfew. The same thing that is happening here now. Do you know what it means to be a curfew? Yes, they allowed them to come and do what they did, and they said they are not complicit. They are telling that one to the Marines now. Military. Military.
All right, thank you, Barrister Darlington, and a big thank you to the other barristers that joined me. Barrister Asim Adams, a constitutional lawyer from River State, and also Barrister Henry Kine, a constitutional lawyer from River State. It's been very enlightening and always enlightening having you guys in the studio, and to our one and only Mr. Barrister Darlington. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Lagos, will be with you again tomorrow, hopefully, for another set of conversation. I'll do my best to see if I can get Ambassador Roy to join us tomorrow. He's a former military officer and also a security expert. And I say if we can have him with CP Tricks tomorrow, let's even break down this thing about insecurity. Let's as a military officer, someone who served before, let's hear him give us some reveal on what's going on with the security issues in Nigeria. Is it that the security is actually helpless, that we cannot do this job, or is it that there is no willpower? We'll get to know tomorrow, Lagos. The time is 7 p.m. See you tomorrow, Lagos. Have an amazing evening. My name is Precious. This show is produced by Promise. Good night.